Hello
Exciting.
and welcome to the Let's Make Them Pay podcast. I'm your host, Scott Bennett. Today we have a special guest, one of my favorite creators on TikTok. I find myself watching his videos all the time. His name is Ross, but he posts under the nom de plume Raoul Duke 613 on TikTok, Raoul Duke 6133 on Instagram. Raoul Duke is the same alter ego once used by legendary author Hunter S. Thompson, and you can tell by the hammer and sickle next to his name that Raoul Duke is on the left. All the way left, as I like to say. Ross, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, man. I wore my loudest shirt today in honor of you and Hunter Thompson. It reminded me of the shirt he
Awesome.
wore in the 78 BBC documentary Fear and Loathing in Gonzo Vision. Have you seen that one?
I haven't actually. I've read
It's a
almost all of his
classic.
work, but I've never seen that.
Do you have any favorite books by Thompson that you recommend?
Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 78.
Yes,
is
that was
amazing.
my favorite too.
Amazing.
I
It's
cannot. I don't think I can ever do the Hell's Angels book because I have a bit of an aversion to motorcycle gang material, content of any kind.
that's fair. I mean, it's a good book too. You can tell it's his like earliest work, but phenomenal.
Yeah. I did. I think I read The Great Shark Hunt also, which is got a ton of his paid work that he did
Like
for
Rolling Stone
magazines over
stuff.
the years. But I had to take it in little pieces because it was just it was too intense. He's too intense to read big long chunks at the same time.
Yeah, man. He's super intense. I love it. I mean, I'm an intense guy, I guess. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
love that stuff.
I believe that. I'm not surprised to hear it. Before we go any further, I want to hear jump to all the excitement this week about the Democratic Socialist victories in New York. What's your read on the sudden popularity of all these socialist candidates?
No, I feel like the victories are a sign of people finally they've had enough. They're waking
Yeah,
up to the fact that the Democrats aren't actually going to do any of the stuff that they campaign on. That they say they're going to do.
right.
Um, and I don't have a lot of faith that they're actually going to be able to do any of this stuff. But they're
Right.
like as they keep winning, and I think you're gonna have a lot of pushback from the Democratic Party. They're gonna really take the mask off and
Oh
make
yeah.
people realize like we're a lot more into capitalism here than democracy.
They're even
Like,
saying it this week. They're like, we love capitalism.
right. So I feel like as they become more successful in the elections, and I only see that happening. I mean, they're winning in
Oh
Colorado
yeah.
now. It's not New York City. It's not Philadelphia. Uh,
Right.
well, I mean, uh, we just had social or Democratic Socialist win in Philadelphia in my district.
Okay.
God, what is his name? I um, but I feel like as they lose or as they win rather, and the Democrats are losing, they're going to start revealing like, nah, actually, they're more in line with Trump than with any working class movement, and I feel like
Yeah.
it's going to snowball. I feel like people are going to wake up more through that. Uh,
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see.
No, I
But I feel
totally
like we're
agree.
finally starting to get like a real left wing movement, and it's scaring the shit out of the establishment.
Yeah, and it rightly so. I mean, they're doing a terrible job.
Terrible,
Terrible.
terrible.
It's awful out there. Um, I getting ready for this interview, I was happy to see that you had posted about the power of a general strike. I also saw that also saw that I had reposted that one. Can you talk a little bit about why you think a general strike is such a powerful tool for change?
Well, we're the people that make the things happen, the workers. And
Yeah.
if you had just a targeted group of people, like talking truckers, teachers, the people that actually are the backbone of the infrastructure here, they stop working just that for a few weeks and say, we're not going back to work until you give us what we want.
Right.
That's all it would take. Because without
Yeah.
the people who make the things happen doing the work, there's no the whole thing shuts down, and they'll
Yeah.
give us anything we want. But if
Oh,
we
yeah,
tell
I
them we're going
totally
to go
agree.
back to work on this day, they're just going to wait it out. There's no power
Right.
to that. So, like,
Right.
shut it down until they give us what we want.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think the Canadian truckers last year were well, they didn't do a full general strike, but just the truckers alone just messed things up really bad.
totally. If the people that the truckers that move things around the country, the teachers that basically are just babysitters, if teachers skip work, you're going to have all these people stay home from their jobs. That creates, like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean. There's certain jobs, nurses, doctors,
Yeah.
that would make them give us anything we want if we could just organize it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was uh I was surprised, looking at I'm planning on doing a post about it soon, but looking at Italy had done 3 general strikes last year about Gaza. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's so common there. I've done a lot of traveling, and I've been in Portugal, I've been in Italy while they do these general strikes and they shut the
Yeah.
entire country down. You can't get out. I was trapped in Portugal for a couple days, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, solidarity. This, I'm just gonna go hang out in Lisbon. Like, this
Yeah.
is amazing to see that there's countries that have this. Like, being
It's
an American,
exciting
it's
to
just
see
so
labor
foreign.
consciousness like that existing in the modern
Oh
world.
yeah.
We're so far from that here in the US right now.
Oh my God. We're the most complacent country in the world, and we think we're like tough, and we just, like, literally, like, in Italy, they strike for Gaza. They'll strike for, France tried to increase the retirement age like 6 months,
Yeah.
and they're like, nope, we're not going to work until you
Right.
back that the
They're
fuck
like
off. And then
shooting
we're
garbage at the government buildings, and yeah, it's
yeah,
really
we'll
inspiring.
we'll never do that without more class
Well, I
consciousness.
don't
But
want to
yeah,
never say
it's
never. I
inspiring.
mean,
No,
we've got a rich history of labor action in this country. It's just there's
totally.
been so much for these last 5 decades, union busting and restriction on all
Absolutely.
of our labor movements.
Yeah, and I mean, I do feel like there's actual movement on the left. Like,
Yeah,
there's actually a snowballing leftist movement. And as much as I'm like, oh, the DSA, that's ineffective, it's waking people up, and it's showing
yeah,
people that they are awake. So
yeah.
it's just going to keep snowballing from here. It's amazing to see.
I know it's a very exciting moment, and I think the youth are really the ones who are they're more class conscious than any other age group, I would say. I would say people like you and me on TikTok are helping make that happen.
There. What's his name? I'm forgetting his name. He's a lawyer on TikTok. He's like a leftist lawyer.
Uh-huh.
Um, his name will come to me, but he posted a video today where he's talking about, uh, when you're posting on TikTok, what's the point? Like, are you just wasting your time? Do you actually do anything? And it's like, no, the online left is what's waking people up.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's
without the
totally
online left,
social
there's
media.
no pushback on Gaza.
Yeah. I mean, you're
Eh,
never going to hear voices like yours or mine anywhere in mass media. It's just
right.
not happening. And they had it so locked down, and this is really the dichotomy, I think, between mass media and social media. Is you can get voices like yours and mine are actually being heard by people, and to me, there's a
Amazing.
huge appetite for it.
Yeah, and it's the awakening of the public consciousness. I feel like is, you're finally really. I don't know. It's amazing. The we've got we're like, everyone's trying to fix this, right? Like, I feel like that's what MAGA was. MAGA was people going,
Mm.
"This is not working." People
Hmm.
voting for Obama, hope change. People
Right.
like, this is not working for people, and we
Yeah.
just keep trying the same thing over and over again. But I feel like people, like, actually talking on TikTok and on Instagram, like, discussing this kind of stuff, is waking people up in a way that's, I mean, dangerous for the system, but good for the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And I think real life too, and people's financial situation is also radicalizing people, and just realizing how oppressed the working class is, and people are living it.
Yeah, I look at China as super inspiring. I That's kind of been my like focus recently, but China has completely eradicated poverty. They're overtaking the United States as the top economy on earth in purchasing power parity. They're already like way ahead of us. Like a,
Hmm.
a Chinese person doing the same job as an American, is going to be able to buy a third more stuff
Yeah,
and have a third more money. You got 90% home ownership in cities, like in rural areas, it's closer to 99%.
yeah,
Uh, and it they are actively trying to reach socialism.
yeah,
Like that's the goal.
yeah.
And I look at that, they're gonna overtake us. And as we're going in the shitter, we've got trillionaire here in the
Right,
United States. People's standard of living is going to hell. And I mean, and now you've got all the, I'm in a very Chinese time of my life or whatever, that whole thing. People are like looking at China and going like, what are we doing?
right.
Why can't I buy that Chinese car? Why can't, you know what I mean? Why can't I buy that Chinese phone? And I think you're going to start seeing a lot of jealousy from
Mm,
Americans that
yeah,
look at what they're doing. Like, why are we not the best? And you're starting to develop some class consciousness. You're starting to build a left wing movement here. And as China, like, really, I mean, they're already beating us in every metric that matters to the working class. But as they become like unquestionably like this is the Chinese century.
right.
They're the bosses right now. You're going to have a lot of Americans go like, all right, so what's the solution? Well, it's
Yeah,
socialism.
yeah.
It, that's
It's
it.
not complicated, and there's a reason, for all of the anti-communism, anti-socialist stuff that's been happening, the suppression over the last century. I mean, you go back all the way to over 100 years ago, there were the first Red Scares happening. Like there's a
Right.
reason that this is such a bugaboo for the rich that it never goes away. It's because it's
Right.
the philosophy that says that we don't need the rich.
Right.
Yeah,
It's well, it's uh, what do they do but take? I mean,
rich are parasites.
Elon
Yeah,
Musk hasn't created anything. He's bought companies that were already doing things and then selling himself as this creator. And now he's a trillionaire. He's like the final boss of neoliberalism.
yeah.
So I heard someone refer to him as that. Amazing. I so I don't know.
One of my favorite posts
It's
on the trillionaire thing after Elon Musk became a trillionaire was, over the last 50 years, China pulled 800 million out of poverty and the US made 1 trillionaire. And to me I mean that's the comparison
that
right
says it
there. That's
all.
capitalism versus socialism, communism right there.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the whole game.
Yeah,
Like their government works for their citizens. Ours works
right.
for businesses.
Right.
Eh,
And it's almost hard to imagine for Americans because we're so not used to that. And because the government has been so villainized ever since the Reagan era. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. What a laugh line that was during Reagan's times. But I think what you're pointing to is like quality of life is the real determinant for the mass of the people, right? Like whose quality of life is going up, and you can see America's going down as this
yeah,
wealth continues to concentrate. And then you have this contrast, this real world contrast. And I love, like on Red Note, I remember that little brief period of time when TikTok went away for like a day and everybody went on Red Note, and they're watching all these videos of like, here's how much it costs to buy groceries in China, or here's what my commute to work is like, or and it was just like, what? Like we get this from the mass media, we get this picture of China as, this third world nation and all that, it's so primitive. And then you see the bullet trains going like 700 miles an hour or whatever that is.
yeah. Well, I it's been so I went to China before I was a leftist, before I'd really woken up. And I it was like 2006, we'll say. And I went there and I did not really enjoy myself because I'm just like it was different, and I don't know, but I kept looking at what they're doing in China, and like they've developed so much since 2006. It's a
Yeah.
completely different world over
Right.
there. They've been building up their country, building up their infrastructure, like actually spending money to improve the quality of life of their citizens. It's
That makes such a
whereas
huge
if you look
difference when you
at
actually
the
make that a
US versus
priority.
the 1980s, there's been like no real change in that entire time, where China's completely eradicated poverty since the 80s. Like our money is being spent on bailing out corporations that get
And
to stay
genocide.
private after we bail them out,
Right.
and genocide, and uh, turning brown children into skeletons to steal oil, and and their money, they're using corporate money to build infrastructure for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it, it's crazy to see,
Well, it's
or
so
it's
funny.
amazing.
You used to hear anti-communists talking about, oh, 5-year plans, 10-year plans. What a joke. Central planning. But like, compare that to what we have, which is quarterly. Everything is run by capitalists in the banks for quarterly earnings projections. And like, the furthest we can see out is like 3 months. So how can you do anything if you're just like
It
that short-term focused?
Well, you've got, I mean, they're doing it's for the next quarter's earnings, and what they're trying to do is like build up. Uh, they're trying to build up the market value of the company so they can sell it off to some private investment firm.
Right.
Without, who cares about the duration of how long the company's going to last or the product's going to last. We're just trying to build up the market valuation so that we can
Right.
sell and get a big payday and make it their problem. And
Yeah.
they're just making trash, making everything worse so that they can get a big payday. And the whole thing is just money for money's sake. Like, what are we building? What are we actually trying
Yeah.
to do with all this money?
Rentiers.
Stand up. Stand out. At Windy City Print Shop, you'll find original designs celebrating community, solidarity, mutual aid, and the belief that ordinary people can create extraordinary change. Resist with your whole chest. Windy City Print Shop. Visit windycityprintshop.etsy.com.
Are we back?
Oh, we're back.
All right. I don't know where I lost you.
Yeah, I
My
just froze up at a
my
certain point.
connection. I have this gigabit internet, and
Right.
it's
From a
capitalism.
monopoly, probably.
Yeah, Verizon, they're the only game in town, and
So yeah, so it's the gig internet that really hardly ever gets that high.
yeah, oh, never.
You just mentioned that the period before you reached class consciousness. Could we take a step back and
Sure.
talk about that, like about your personal radicalization journey? How long you been calling yourself a socialist or a communist?
God, it's been uh, 15 years, something like that.
Hmm.
I I graduated from high school in 2002. Right, I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened, so I did the thing and I joined the army.
Okay.
And I spent 4 years in the army, and kind of hated every second of it. But got out, went to college. I got a history degree, and I realized uh, I don't really know anything about socialism. I because studying history and political science, and I wanted to be a social, and I was like, I don't really know anything about socialism.
Yeah.
Uh, I realized, like, they're telling you about, like, capitalism, and they're telling you, when you study political science in the U.S., you're learning about, like, the Democrats and the Republicans and the two parties, and I'm like, I feel like I should know something about this, so I start reading about it. Um, and push for it was about uh, I start I what was it? What's the book? Uh, it was it was around the time of Occupy, I read actually the what's the book called? The Face of Imperialism by we were just talking about him.
Michael Parenti? No.
Michael Parenti, Face of
Yeah.
Imperialism.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
looking for.
Okay.
So it's Michael Parenti, Face of Imperialism, and that book specifically like blew my mind, realizing like what is imperialism, what are we doing, why are we doing it, and I'm like looking back on my time in the military, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's literally we're just conquering the world to make money, and none of this is like we're not like randomly going into these countries and like like oh, they were bad, so we have to go fight them. We have to go attack them. Like, no, we're going into these countries to like steal their shit
Yeah.
or to spread our ideology or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And that was the start. And then I don't know, just kept reading, and I don't know. Uh, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
Yeah. My hat's off to you,
yeah,
sir. Yeah, I mean, it's not
yeah,
easy. It's not easy, and I think everybody kind of has to do it on their own, it seems. I don't know.
yeah.
There has to be some
Yeah.
kind of internal
What about
shift.
you?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just a few years older. I graduated in '97, and I was graduating college in 2001. I was going to go live in Turkey. I wanted to live in Turkey and teach English, but I was supposed to fly out on September 13th, 2001. So that didn't work out. And everybody's like, "Oh my God,
Oh
you can't
wow.
go live in the Middle East now." And I listened to them,
Yeah.
sadly. But I remember the whole Iraq war period, like never believing for a second that weapons of mass destruction were a real thing. But at that time I was
I
still
did. No.
listening, I was reading the New York Times and listening to NPR and feeling like I was informed about the world. But
Totally.
for me, yeah, Michael Parenti, Democracy for the Few, Super Patriotism. Those were two of the most important
Mm.
early ones that I read. And I really started, I had read some Chomsky in college, but I had like a negative reaction to it. I was too plugged into the propaganda system, and I was like, what's this guy's problem with America? But then, I ended up taking Chomsky a lot more seriously, and reading a lot of his stuff too. What do you think? What do you think of Chomsky these days, Epstein wise?
I mean, I it's really unforgivable. You know what I mean? Like, if you're calling yourself a leftist and you're hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, and it's way post
Right.
his first convictions,
The
like
word was out.
yeah, it's I don't know. I'm recommending inventing reality, Michael Parenti, over manufacturing consent these days. We'll say
Hey,
that.
that's fair. That's a fair point, and that's a great book. That's another great one.
Oh yeah. The
Um,
go ahead.
no, I was just going to ask. Besides Parenti, do you have any other favorite authors that you like to recommend to people?
Oh yeah. I really like Naomi Klein.
Yeah,
The what
Shock
is it called?
Doctrine,
Shock Doctrine. Yeah.
big one. That was a great one.
That one really did a lot to like wake me up.
Yeah,
I recently, for the first time, read Howard Zinn, People's History of the United States. I
yeah,
had
epic.
skipped that completely. But
Yeah,
that is an amazing book for people to like just kind of learn just a crash course in
yeah,
what the fuck the United States is about.
I totally
Um,
agree.
Chris Hedges,
Yeah,
uh,
he's so bleak. Oh
Eduardo
my God.
Galeano, Mark Fisher. Yeah,
Nice,
the
nice.
yeah. Uh, God.
Any titles stand out that were particularly great?
Oh, I'm thinking of like stuff that like really like started me off.
Yeah.
Like Mark Fisher, the capitalist realism.
Okay,
That's super
I
big.
haven't read that one.
Yeah, it's easier to envision easier to envision the end of the world than the end of capitalism. That was like
Right,
his
I've
whole
heard
thesis
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super good. He's real interesting. Uh what do we got? Adorno. I mean, I love reading like the critical theorists,
Yeah.
and like Guido and Guattari,
Okay.
the
Oof, boy, I haven't
anti-Oedipus.
come in contact with any of that stuff.
Oh yeah, like French anti or French like postmodernism. Interesting, like it's like talking about like schizophrenic society and I don't know, interesting
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's fascinating. How
Um,
are you reading Marx and Lenin? Any luck reading through powering through any of that stuff?
yeah, I read Capital got when I was first like starting off. I should go
Okay.
back and read it again. It's super. I mean, that's everything, right? I mean,
Right.
that's yeah. Uh, I I find it. I mean, I don't know that it's the first thing I would recommend to people, but it's super. It crucial. It's
Yeah.
everything.
I always say the Communist Manifesto because it's just basically just an essay and it's pretty manageable.
Yeah. Well, I think the the Communist Manifesto is kind of just like the thesis, right? Like,
Right.
and then Capital is like how it's done, like how
Yeah.
what is how is that going to work?
Yeah. Did you make it up into
Yeah,
volume 2 and 3 also?
yeah. I read volume two. I didn't make it into three.
Wow. You're a champ, dude.
I need to get.
That is that's some real determination. Nice work.
Yeah, I it's I I'll just sit there and read. I've read so many dang books, man. I'll just I'll just sit there and I I used to read like 4 hours a day. It was a lot back in the day.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. What do you think of David Graeber?
David Graeber, what? Oh, Debt and yeah, dude,
Yeah.
Debt. What's the one?
Bullshit Jobs,
Bullshit Jobs. Yeah,
Dawn of
amazing.
Everything.
What was? Yeah, Dawn of Everything. I've read all that.
Yeah.
Amazing. He's like super interesting. The
Uh-huh.
Debt, the first 5,000 years. I couldn't put that book down. He's just kind of going over how it works, like the history of it, why how we got here. I don't know. He's amazing. He's
Yeah, I
brilliant guy.
agree. Gone too soon. That's a real bummer to lose him.
Oh
Another
my god,
do you
yeah.
ever read any economists? I like Michael Hudson a whole lot.
I don't read as much economists as I probably should, and
We all have our
I'm with
individual focus things we like to focus in on, I guess.
yeah. I'm like more. I'm way more into the history part and all that. Uh uh I don't know.
You know, along the same lines of Howard Zinn, I liked Oliver Stone put out a book and a documentary
Oh my
series, The
god.
Untold History of the United States, which I would think was pretty close, pretty up there with people's history, I thought, for giving a
I
counter
have not
narrative.
read that. I saw that came out.
Yeah, the documentary
I've
was
read some of his.
just as good as the book, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen his JFK stuff is fascinating. He's like,
Absolutely. Oh my God, what a time! What a time to be alive if you're interested in the JFK stuff. The stuff that's
oh
coming
my
out
god.
now about Israel is really woo.
Mm, I I kind of just discounted the Israel stuff because I'm like, oh yeah, Israel's bad, but like they didn't do everything. Like I don't. But then you start looking at the JFK, so
I
maybe
know, like the stuff about the Dimona reactor and the stolen nuclear material and Kennedy like pushing back and the fact that the prime minister basically quit as soon as Kennedy threatened to force the uh what are the nuclear inspections. It was
uh-huh.
yeah, those are all, I mean, it's all circumstantial, of course, but oh, and also this little bit there, I found this guy on Substack. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he did this big series, and I've always thought James Jesus Angleton was a huge
In on it.
Yeah, I had to be in on it. And then come to find out that there's a special park in Israel, and there was a special dedication where they put up a little monument to James Jesus Angleton, and it was all of the top heads of the Israeli Secret Service were there for that little dedication ceremony. It was
Really?
private.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
And
That's wild.
Angleton was like the main go-between between the Mossad and the U.S. CIA. So
Of
crazy, man.
he was involved. I mean, the one thing that the JFK stuff, it was not Lee Harvey Oswald.
No,
And I kind of wanted to go. I mean, even the U.S. House of Representatives did the House Select Committee on Assassinations, reopened it and
right.
said it was not.
Yeah.
It was not
Yeah. Right.
Lee Harvey Oswald. But uh, I I don't know. It was fascist elements within the U.S. government, I assume. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I look at the JFK assassination as a fascist coup. Like, we could have gone one of two directions in 1963. You look at JFK's American University speech that he gave like several months before
Right.
he. Have you ever watched that?
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Famous one.
yeah,
Yeah.
where he's like, we want a true peace with the Soviets. We want a peace of
Right.
understanding, not a Pax
Right.
Americana where we
And that
force
was like
our
the red
will.
alert at the Pentagon started going off. We,
Right.
the gravy train is
I mean,
ending. We got to get rid of this guy.
we could. I feel like JFK, he was a spoiled rich guy that was elected. I feel like JFK, he was doing acid in the White House. If you ever, uh, I've seen some. What's her name? Mary Pinochet Meyer. That was his mistress, and she was going around telling everyone who listened that they were doing acid in the White House. And it's like, it's the 1960s. He's a cool guy who
Right.
likes to get down. Like, of course he's going to do acid, right? So imagine you're JFK and you are like doing acid, seeing behind the veil at the height of the Cold War. You got Bay of Pigs, you got the Cuban Missile Crisis, you got all this shit, and you're on acid, right? And you're like,
Right.
what
You're
are we
breaking
what
through
are
the
we
doors of
doing?
perception.
Right. Uh, I I feel like the JFK that was elected and the JFK that was assassinated are different people, and I feel like if
Mm.
I mean, he's an American president, like, he's not a good person, really,
Right,
but I
right.
feel like
I'm not going to
we'd
sit
be in
here,
a different.
but I think you're so right about that being, I think that was such an important moment in sending a message to all future presidents that you just got to
Right,
keep your hands off all that stuff, or you're going to end up in the same way. And then to make double sure, they did the same thing to his brother.
right. I mean, well, he was a guarantee. He was a shoo-in. He was going to win, and then he was going to
Right.
reopen the investigation.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that it wouldn't be anything other than a fascist coup. But
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But people, like talking about fascism, it's a word that gets thrown around all the time, but I don't think people really have an appreciation for what it even means. How do you define fascism?
So I mean, from it is a merging of corporate and the state, right? Like, it's I
Yeah.
look at it as an inversion of communism, where the communism, you have the proletariat seizes the means of production. You have a government and an economy that's run by the people for the people.
Right.
Whereas under fascism, the corporations have seized the government to make it work for them, and they use all sorts of tricks, like, ultranationalism and all the shit they're doing to to
Yeah.
keep their hold on power.
Yeah. And
And
I would just add that, the use of violence is an important
oh,
element of that to maintain, or, to solidify that class structure, with the elites and the, rich on top.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like the word gets thrown around. I'm talking to people, like, they're like, I think, I'll say Donald Trump is a fascist. Like, well, I think that Bill Gates is more of a fascist than Donald Trump. And it's like, someone telling you to do things you don't like is not fascism. It's also, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, they're all goddamn fascists,
well,
but
I mean, here we have
it means
literal
something.
jackbooted thugs, attacking Americans on the street for ICE, and now they're going after leftists, and it's like, is there any question now in people like how could? But of course, the way it gets spun on Fox News into the boomers is completely different, so they can't even see
Oh
it
my
that
God.
way.
It's crazy. There was a guy I saw that got locked up for like moving some boxes with some like anti-fascist magazines in them. He's like a
Right,
tattooer. He got 30
zines.
years.
Right. Well, and like, weren't those jury trials? Like, where is the jury on this? Like, how are they not nullifying those conviction? Like,
Uh,
throw them out. Like, they're putting these people in jail for 50 years for this.
yeah, I would. It makes me think like, what the fuck am I doing posting stuff on the internet? But we got to talk about this stuff. Like
Yeah,
if
for
if
real.
they
Well,
silence us,
right.
they've won.
Well, yeah, and I think, I don't know. I think sometimes they might hesitate to go after certain people because it would just make all of their material so much more interesting to everybody else in the after the fact. I don't know. I mean, of course, it can all
Well,
just
if
get
they go
deleted
after
also.
Hassan,
Yeah.
like
Who
I
would
look
they
at
go after?
I think Hassan Piker is the most important voice right now. I think he's the
Wow.
best
Okay.
political commentator like going,
Fantastic.
and he's waking. And right now you've got it's like 30% of people under 30 are like down for communism. 2/3 of them are like good with socialism. Uh, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
You were
So
saying
like under 30,
30% of
you've got
people,
30% of people under 30 are down for communism, and
right?
2/3
And
are good with
60% for
socialism.
socialism. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I mean Hassan's DSA, but I think he's doing more to educate people uh, on like I mean, it's hard to get people to communism. Communism is good, but if you have a guy that's talking about this is what's going on in Gaza, this is what's going on with the Democratic Party, and he's like really educating people and like
Yeah.
I think he's a great communicator. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a super important voice right now.
What do you now?
That
I've heard him criticized for being too much into electoralism and having
yeah,
belief
that's my
that
biggest. That's definitely my biggest critique of him. Like he's very much down for DSA, but again, I think the DSA is playing. I do think that the DSA is playing a really good role right now.
yeah,
In you're going to have a lot of pushback from these Democrats that are they're crashing out. I think they're going to
yeah,
reveal themselves to be what it is, and people are going to become more like ready for like a revolutionary type socialism.
yeah.
But I think
I agree.
the DSA is like the pathway to that, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if if it's helping spread consciousness, and if they're helping, expose just how pro-capitalist the Democratic Party is to really underscore that. I mean, I think that's all great. Yeah,
That's exactly. I think it's a lot. My biggest, the biggest things I like about him are his ability to communicate. He's a really good educator and communicator,
yeah,
and he's got reach. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's
Right.
he's got such a massive audience, which is amazing to see.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah.
Radicalizing the kids in a
Right
real
on.
way.
Who are some of your other favorite communist socialist content creators?
Oh, Madeline Pendleton, I like.
Yes, I love Madeline.
Yeah. God, my brain. Let me look at my TikTok. I'm forgetting some
I'm sure
names
they'll
here.
pop up right away. I love
The
Midwestern Marks. He's great.
oh yeah,
Carlos Garrido does amazing stuff. I mean, between the three of those
he's great.
people, they've got millions of followers between them. So
Oh yeah, and well, Socialista Champagne is amazing. You follow her?
okay,
She's like
possibly.
I don't know. She talks about uh, China and Gaza and all that.
Yeah,
She's amazing. Oh, the woke bloke is who I was thinking of
Yeah, I
earlier.
was gonna say that. I was waiting for you. I was
Yeah,
gonna say the woke bloke,
yeah,
also known as the
the
woke
woke bloke.
blokeette on Instagram. So
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That dude nails it.
Oh yeah, and God, what is it? What's the Chinese guy? The really funny dude, Buddha Wang.
Okay.
Yeah, Buddha Wang. You ever watch that dude? He's
I don't know. I
amazing.
don't know if I know that one. I don't know.
He's a Chinese Marxist dude who
Okay.
moved to the United States. He lived in California and he moved back to China. And he apparently made a bunch of money when he was in the US, but he doesn't work and he just kind of he's got an amazing perspective because he's like, this is how China is. And I know how the United States works. So like he's hilarious. He's great.
Nice.
Buddha Wang is
Nice.
amazing.
I'll check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Now you let's see. You're getting bigger and bigger. Your channel's getting bigger and bigger. When did you start posting?
God, like February or March of last year.
Dang, that's impressive. That's yeah. Nice work
Yeah,
over just a little over a year and a half.
yeah, I did it kind of as just to see if I could do it, and it's kind of stuck.
Yeah, I was
I'm
curious
kind of
about what
crazy.
inspired you to start doing it.
It was an experiment. I just wanted to see like if I could do it, and
Yeah.
then here we are. I guess I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of wild that anyone wants to listen to me talk, but here we are.
Well, I enjoy the heck out of your posts, and I would say keep up the good
Likewise,
work,
man.
man. Well, thank you very much.
How long have you been doing it? I feel like you've been at it for a couple years at least.
Yeah, I started in 23, so I'm up past 3
Okay.
years now as of March. So, and it's nice because a lot of my stuff is pretty evergreen, so I don't feel bad about reposting it because it's just as relevant now. You know, when you're talking about this, you know, a lot of this stuff doesn't really lose its relevance. So, so I can post
Yeah,
I'll repost all these old ones just day after day after day. It's great. And you take so much pressure off making newer content.
I got to think about that. I mean, I'm finally in my second year of doing it, and
Yeah.
I try to talk. I don't try to talk about current events much because it's there's so many content creators doing that.
Right.
I like to just talk about stuff in books and history and the politics. So
Yeah. Have you experienced much suppression, do you think? Do you have any examples?
God, man, I don't want to like chalk it up to suppression, but it does feel like I'm shadow banned sometimes.
Oh
Like,
yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. I totally feel that.
I feel like it's just the algorithm giving. The algorithm giveth, and the algorithm taketh away. But I do think that there are times where I'm like I'm sitting at 400 view jail. There's no reason for this.
Right.
But
Yeah, like I'll be really proud of a post and it'll just die. I remember I did one on racism is a scam, looking at chapter 2 of Zin's book People's History, and I thought it was a really great post, and it got 400 and then didn't like change for day. It didn't get seen by anybody.
yeah.
And then I had another one that was taking off. It was just like it was just like every hour was getting bigger and bigger and thousands of people. And then just like somebody turned off the tap. It just like stop being seen anymore.
Yeah, it'll get to like 8,000 views, and then that's what you get. I'm like, oh,
right.
All right. The TikTok algorithm kind of is not great. I started reposting my stuff on Instagram, and the Instagram algorithm is amazing. I've started to build up followers, and my posts reach 5 times as many people sometimes.
Isn't that incredible?
I feel like it's way more. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so funny. It's such a turnaround because I've been posting on Instagram. I make my posts in Adobe Premiere, so I would just post to YouTube and to Instagram all my posts ever since the very beginning, and I still only have Yeah, I still only have 1,500 followers on YouTube. People can't find me on YouTube. People tell me that they're unsubscribed after they subscribe on YouTube, and it was the same thing on Instagram. I had like less than 2,000 followers up until like 2 weeks ago, and I reposted a communism post talking about name one successful communist nation, and they just exploded. I've gotten almost 1 million views on it. I got more than 10,000 new followers on Instagram in a week just on that one post. It was bananas.
Crazy. I've been at 12,000 followers. I made it to that pretty quickly, and I just kind of forgot that I had an Instagram, I'll be honest. But um, I've been reposting it, and I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I've been lucky. I don't know. But
No, I mean, who knows?
These
It
algorithms
seems like, I don't know.
all.
It seems like their anti-communism censors are a little wonky right now. I think too many people are talking about it.
Well, I've noticed with TikTok specifically, everyone's all like, "Oh, the algorithm's gotten worse." I'm like, I feel like I was getting posts taken down and like blocked every third post, like
Yeah.
before the American owner, like before the ownership changed hands.
Too hot
Uh,
for TikTok.
it was, I'd say words, and now I haven't had a post taken down in months, which is,
That's great.
I don't know if they had the sensors on me, they were looking at me or something, but I couldn't post
Now the
anything, man.
FBI is involved, and they want us to say as much as we possibly can.
That's probably what it really is, though. That's they want it all there for,
Right. They want to record every word.
yeah.
So what kind of things do you think would change if we had communism or socialism here in the US?
I think we'd have healthcare, and I think we'd have people owning homes. I wouldn't be one of the people that I know that owns a home. Like,
Yeah.
I have so many friends that are my age or older that don't own homes, which is
Yeah.
like crazy. And the only reason I own a home is because I went and joined the military.
Right.
I got a VA loan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so we've got all this stuff that's barred behind military service, and like, you've got, I don't know. I feel like we would have more time to live, more time to do things. We wouldn't be trapped going to work for 45, 50 hours a week, and then not being able to retire. I mean, what is it? 50% of people don't have $5,000 in savings, where
Yeah.
in China, people put 50% of their earnings into savings on average.
Wow. Wow.
Like, and I understand a lot of that's because of like their century of humiliation. They were poor, so a lot of people are like concerned about money, whereas Americans are like used to buying a bunch of shit, and like we all have way too much stuff, right? Like, I feel like that's a lot of the problem with a lot of Americans. But the reality is, the whole system's set up to make us spend money and
Yeah.
not have,
Consumerism.
right. And so I feel like, like if we moved towards socialism, like it would just be like, it would, a lot of the weight of this whole way we've set up society would be taken off people's backs.
Yeah.
You'd own a home, you'd have medical care, you'd be able to retire,
Right.
which is,
Something
you'd
that
be able to
seems to be
live.
going away for people our age. Everybody's just like, I'm just gonna work till I drop dead.
Well, to be honest, I think that there's a lot of the reason I try to stay positive about our prospects of actually reaching socialism, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have this whole generation of millennials like reach near retirement age in 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
25 years, right?
Yeah.
People don't have anything. I mean, so many millennials don't have any savings. And I feel like we're going to get to this point where it's we have to fix this.
Yeah.
If we haven't already, you know what I mean? Like is it going to be like a socialist revolution, or are we actually going to is the DSA going to be successful? Or I don't know what it looks like, but I feel like we have to fix this. There's no way around it. So you know what I mean? Like I remain optimistic. Like we're not gonna.
No, I don't want to make it seem like I'm a pessimist. I yell at people in the comment section. I'm like, cynicism is self-fulfilling prophecy, man. Like, if you think everything's gonna stay shitty, then you're not gonna be motivated to try and change anything.
If the woke bloke said it, and I stuck with me. If we say, or if we let them win, then they won. If we think they won,
right,
then
they win.
They've won.
Yeah,
right. We literally, if we don't let them have it, then they'll never have won.
Yeah,
like we are the conditions for victory. Really.
Yeah. We have the power. It exists within us. It's just about getting people together and realizing it. But, so much of the propaganda system is about making us feel disempowered and making us feel powerless.
Yeah, and dividing us. And I really do think that a lot of it starts with, I think you should befriend your neighborhood right-wingers. Be nice to them.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to convince an enemy of anything. You're going to convince someone that trusts you and knows you're a good person, that, oh, maybe I should listen to them. Maybe I respect their views more.
Yeah.
And there's only so many people you're going to convince that this is right. And I think you probably should spend more time with liberals and trying to wake them up and realize that you're never getting health care from a Democrat. That's not happening. I know you want that, but so many people are just mad about this system. And I feel like if you just are cool with people and radiate good vibes and try to befriend people that you wouldn't, if you tell people I don't know. I feel there's ways to wake people up, and I feel like you just have to. I don't know. I don't know what I was getting to there.
No, I agree with you. I think that's a great point. I think so much about our lives. It's kind of living. People kind of already have a sense about how bad the working class is getting screwed, and I think once you can start just making those connections, between and I think it totally requires a new constitution, because the way I look at it, it's just operating exactly as intended to give the landholders all the benefit in our society.
Well, it was we are the archetype of the bourgeois capitalist country, right? Our country was founded by them, for them.
Right.
The Constitution was written to justify enslaving people and profiting off of the working class.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how we really fix things without getting past that. And I think that with Trump and these people are trying to show, I don't know, they're just really trying to shove it in our faces. No, that's what we're doing here. You guys work for us. This is our country. And I feel like we're gonna wake up. I feel like they're kind of shoving it in our faces. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's also a conscious strategy to make us feel hopeless by bringing out the violence and using that to get people to shut up. And but it doesn't seem to be working. I mean, you look at what's happening with ICE in Minneapolis and other places across the country. People who never would have been politically active or motivated are becoming politically active and motivated now.
Well, I think it's darkest before the dawn, right? The worse they get, the worse they make this, the more it's going to radicalize people and wake people up.
Yeah.
The harder they make people's lives, that It's not good that they do any of this, but like Donald Trump is, I mean, yeah, you had Bernie, but and you had Occupy before that, and there's some stuff that started it, but Donald Trump is kind of personally responsible for activating the American leftist movement right now.
Yeah, and
That,
I mean, I wouldn't discount the Epstein files also. I mean,
totally.
having the idea of an Epstein class, like it encapsulates it so perfectly, and to have Trump himself being best buddies with Epstein, it's like it doesn't get any clearer that these guys are all in on it together.
But it's it's everyone, right? Like how Epstein knew fucking all of the people running the country, down to fucking Noam Chomsky.
Right.
And it kind of shows it's like this big club. They're all hanging out with this fucking guy. But the fact that it's Donald Trump was his best friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a wild. How is it even real? It feels, you know what I mean? It feels like it's
Right.
it's fake.
That's why it's such a perfect example, right? Because it's like the cast of
Oh my god,
characters
dude!
is just Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and all these leading lights and billionaires and Elon Musk and everybody's in there.
But Elon Musk being too lame to hang out with them, they're like ignoring his, trying to like get rid of him, like deal with
Yeah.
this. I don't know if you saw that
I
one.
mean, that's
It's
one of the
so
most relatable things I think in the Epstein files.
Yeah. It's
Um,
well, he wanted to hang out with him. That was the worst
right,
part.
right. But they didn't want
The
him. Aw, poor Elon. Poor
yeah,
trillion. The world's first
poor
trillionaire
Elon.
is not coolest to hang out with the Epstein crew.
I think we're at a point now where like the system is failing. I think it's a perfect storm right now for like an
Yeah.
actual leftist movement. You got Donald Trump like waking people up. You've got China. You've got all this stuff, and I feel like as bad as it feels like we're in hell right now or something. Like the United States is insane. But I feel like we're finally going to be able to like fix some stuff about this. Is that a socialist revolution? Again, is it? I doubt reforms work. I doubt DSAs is successful without, but I don't know. Obviously, this isn't working. Everyone sees that. And everything's kind of just perfectly coming together to like force us to fix it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think if the DSA gets crushed, by the Democrats and the Republicans teaming up, I think that also really speeds along some kind of revolutionary sentiment.
That does the job, and that's why I'm like, yeah, go DSA, keep winning those elections and in the primaries, and let the Democrats show who they really are.
Right.
And that just wakes people up more. I mean, this whole thing, it's we're gonna fix this. This is what I think. That's what I think.
I think you're right. I think I feel more hopeful now for some kind of real substantive kind of economic change, like really, really changing the situation. Seems more possible now than it has in my lifetime, I think.
I recently had comedy legend Greg Proops on the show, and I wanted to tell you about one of his latest projects. WeThePeople.wtf is a political satire site where comedy collides with civic expression and exists to make the current political circus a little less chaotic and a lot more funny. Each episode, comedians debate the funniest, boldest, or most unhinged protest signs, and viewers get to vote for their favorite. Voting does not only decide the winner, it also gives the audience the chance to receive $1,000. Together, WeThePeople.wtf and citizens are raising the voice of the people and laughing along the way. Comedy, cash, and civic engagement. What's not to love? Visit WeThePeople.wtf for more.
No, you didn't get any of that.
We're back.
We're back. I think I was just chatting away, and I think I clicked out on your end.
If it got you, we're good.
Do you have any final thoughts to start wrapping this up as we struggle with our connection here?
I nationalize Verizon and fix my internet.
For real,
I don't
nationalize
know,
all the monopolies.
All of them, yeah.
All of them.
That's
Yeah, well, here, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to say thank you
Yeah,
so
wrap it
much
up,
for
wrap it up.
joining
Yeah.
me today, Ross. I really love hearing your opinions, especially because I find myself agreeing with you so often. Please remind our audience where
Likewise.
they can find you online.
TikTok at Raoul Duke, I think it's 613, and then Raoul Duke 6133 on Instagram. And yeah,
All right,
pleasure
brilliant.
speaking to you, Scott.
It's been a real pleasure for me also. And I would like to remind anyone finding this content on any podcasting platform to please like and review. 5 stars all the way. That really helps other people find us as we launch this podcast. And I'll end the show the same way I like to end all of my online content by saying, let's make them pay.